What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. We have a special episode because it's E3, which, well, it all kicked off yesterday with Geoff Keighley's Summer Game Fest. And Scott and I are going to be recapping the event. We had a great time yesterday. If you weren't able to join us live over on twitch.tv/theofficialITG or hanging out over on YouTube as well, you can always catch it later, posted on YouTube, InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services, and TV streaming networks around the world. Scott, ready to recap yesterday's event, buddy?
Yes, I am. I just want to begin by saying we weren't exactly sure what was going to happen, what kind of quality of presentation we were walking into, but it was not as casual as I expected. There were some heavy hitters.
Yeah, we weren't, like you say, Scott, we didn't know what we were in for, right? Like, Geoff Keighley always produces a good show, but you don't know what he gave us all a warning on Twitter saying, temper expectations. So that kind of, put the bar, I guess, at a medium kind of level for me, Scott. I wasn't going in with high expectations. I wasn't looking for the Switch Pro or anything along that line to be announced or revealed. And it kind of ended off on a really high note for a lot of people that we'll get to eventually. But to kick things off, Scott, they actually announced, you ready? Borderlands. The world of Borderlands is back with Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. What do you think of this reveal? Because this one kind of came out of nowhere, and I'm going, okay, this looks interesting, and then it's attached to the Borderlands world. Not a surprise, but at the same time, I was kind of hoping for something else.
Yeah, it is. This one was a bit of a surprise because you expect, I believe Borderlands has 4 titles out now.
Yeah.
You can kind of expect another one coming down the pipe, but this is definitely separate from the mainline games. So it's interesting to me that they're going with a different story in the same universe.
Yeah.
I'm not so attached to Tiny Tina. She came up in Borderlands 2 originally.
That's right.
But it's interesting to see how they're going to change the gameplay up. I'm sure this is going to be somewhat of a looter shooter. That's how Borderlands is.
Yeah.
But it'll be really cool to see what kind of things they do differently.
No, for sure. This is, it seems very over the top. Like, even for Borderlands. Like, you know what I mean? They're in this whole fantasy setting now. There's dragons. There's a unicorn that comes across the screen, and it's just, I don't know, man. We'll have to see when it launches. Early 2022 is when that one's coming out, Scott. From there, we got into some tactical stuff with Metal Slug Tactics. They talked about how we're going back to the 90s, and we're all like, what is this? And sure enough, dude, anything in there for you with some Metal Slug action?
Well, I'm not familiar so much with the Metal Slug games. Yeah. I've seen them, but I never played them.
Yeah.
But I was trying to guess what property this was as the show went on, and I was thinking, like, this is so action based, this is stylistic. I'm just not so sure. And then it came up, Metal Slug Tactics. I think that's cool. Reinventing an IP from the 90s.
Yeah.
That's cool. There's a long list of those I'm sure we could pull up that deserve a redo. So
absolutely. They're staying with that old feel too, Scott, of the 90s, right? Like, they didn't really change up the style. They changed up the play formula on the game, but not the actual aesthetic of the game.
Yeah. Oh, I'm even now I'm looking at the tank. And I think that's just a logo of the game series now.
Yeah. No, it definitely looks pretty cool. Interesting. Nice little return to many years ago, we'll put it that way.
It makes me wonder if there's going to be another Battletoads and what that would look like.
Oh, man, we had Battletoads. Nate and I reviewed it on the show, and it was unique. We'll put it that way. Speaking of Nate, he actually joins us live over on twitch.tv/theofficialITG. Yo, happy Friday, Nate. We are here. It's Friday. Geoff also had a special guest. No big surprise. None other than Kojima himself was there, Scott, to talk about, well, Death Stranding's director cut.
Yeah, I feel like we got a little bit hooked on the bait there.
Sure did. It's because it looked like Metal Gear, man. It's so, oh god, it hurt.
Well, anytime Hideo is on screen, on camera, there's something big in the works. He's such an all-star. He's attached to something cool. But they definitely baited us with, I've heard it referred to as Metal Gear inspired trailer.
Yeah.
And absolutely was.
Absolutely. Like, I kind of want, oh my goodness, dude, this is Metal Gear 1. Like, I'm watching Metal Gear. Here we go. And then the back of my mind, I'm going, how? Like, how is this even possible? Because there's no way Konami wants to do this again. And I don't think Hideo himself even wants to work with Konami at this point, right? He's so off on doing his own thing. And yeah, you had Norman Reedus there as the main character for Death Stranding. So I'm like, okay, there's a crossover or there's a tie-in or like, what is going on here?
It's a new Snake. Norman Reedus.
So, yeah. No, it just turns out it's the director's cut. Now I was heartbroken because Death Stranding, dude, it did not hook me. It did not grab me whatsoever. But there's so many little things that Hideo does so well, right? There's the box from Metal Gear. You kind of
the box,
dude, right? Like you're just kind of, oh no, what is this? What do we have? Oh my god, is it? Man, my hype goes like this, and then it just went. Oh, I got crushed, Scott.
Oh yeah, that was a bit of a. I don't want to say disappointment because I know this is a large release.
Sure,
a lot of people like it, whether it's our cup of tea or not.
Absolutely.
It is exciting to see Hideo Kojima still working on something, having his hand on something.
And then that's when they actually talked about what he's working on next, which, dude, he beat around that bush so bad. Like, it wasn't even close. He wasn't telling you anything. But what he does tap into, he says he looks at the future, right? And where everything holds and lies with the whole pandemic being out there as well right now, what that does for his creative juices to then see what he develops next in the game. So, I'm definitely curious to see where he goes next. I'm hoping we get something more Metal Gear-esque. I don't think it's going to happen. I hope we don't get any more Death Stranding because that's what I said. It just did gravitate me. It didn't hook whatsoever. I felt it was very empty, but you have two spectrums here. You have those who actually love the game and appreciate what it is. I appreciate what the game is. I just did not connect.
I know of some people that have 100%ed that game and played again.
Oh man,
started over.
I couldn't do it.
That's a little too much for me. But
yeah,
it was interesting to hear him talk about his kind of influences, though. He likes to include social commentary in the games. I mean, there's layers on layers to anything that he does. So I'm just curious as to what his next project is and what it's going to teach us about our own society.
Yeah, absolutely. People are speculating that maybe there's little hints of a Metal Gear 1 remake. Is Blue Point working on that? Please. Oh my god, please. Could you imagine those who, man, they can remake a game like no other. So they can take it. Woo! Absolutely. I'm all in for the collector's edition on that one. Let's go, man. Then we jumped into a couple other games. Jeff Blueburn was on there. He talked about the new Jurassic World Evolution 2 is coming in 2021. Very cool game. But the next highlight for us, Scott, and kind of almost a bit of a concern, was Lost Ark. This is Smilegate RPG coming in here, and it looks cool, but who's backing it, Scott? Amazon.
Amazon, right? Yeah, which is tenuous. I'm now cautious to get excited about it. No matter what they show me, it's just we're not so solid on how Amazon's footing is working out lately with the treatment Crucible got.
Yep.
I suppose it just wasn't popular enough, but in either case, it was sad to see that get shut down.
It was, right? But you do kind of question the future of what Amazon is working on and how they kind of take care of their IPs, because we've seen them release stuff to just basically shut it down months later. And it is a little concerning, especially when you're getting into games like this one, a New World that is actually live right now during our show. But it's things like this, these are big titles, man. These are MMOs that we're getting into and huge, scope of a world that they've designed, and to shut it down in a few months later, time will only tell. But at the same time, dude, every time you see that Amazon name now, I just get a little nervous.
Yeah, and I'm just hoping this looks to be something very large scale, and you can just imagine the hours that have been poured into creating something like this. So even on the side of the artists, I really want to see this go through and have a following of some kind. I want it to be appreciated.
No, yeah, absolutely. Northern Nerdcast joins us live over on Twitch and says, "This isn't canceled yet." Not yet, buddy. We'll see what happens. A couple of other highlights. Call of Duty Season 4 was there. They got a World Series of Warzone happening now, which is cool. Ryan Reynolds jumped on. New Among Us things were happening as well. Shuhei Yoshida out of PlayStation Indies joined. A couple of highlights coming out of that. And then we get into a game that I was looking forward to called Solar Ash. dude, this game looks sick. Coming on PS4, PS5 in 2021. Nice to see. I've been watching this one for a while now. Just the art style alone is so unique and cool. I can't wait.
I had to mention this looks quite unique. It's super interesting to me to see the giant. I mean, we see a giant creature in the demo they showed off, and which reminded me of Shadow of the Colossus. I'm not sure if they're going for that, so I don't want to get my expectations up, but at the same time, this looks to be really solid. And who knows what the PlayStation 5 is going to bring to the game as well, right?
Absolutely. And again, it's PS4 and PS5, and is also coming to the Epic Game Store. But it looks cool. Like I'm pretty excited to see where this one kind of lands and when we can get our hands on it. Just sometime this year is all we know. Then they had a world premiere, small, like 30, like, dude, like, was that a 10-second trailer for Valorant? Like, what was that? Here's some armor. Peace out. Like, that was the end of that. And then they jumped into Streets of Tarkov. Scott is the next edition for Escape from Tarkov, which is just seems to be growing. And it looks so cool, man. Like, it's hardcore, though.
It does. That game is super unforgiving. Not exactly user friendly. But it's a game that's just kind of set a standard for what a survivor shooter can be on PC predominantly. Now, I'm a little confused to see Streets of Tarkov being shown off now because I've been told by a friend that it's already out. So I don't know if this is hinting towards a console release possibly later on, or if it's just another hype, the season of content, so to speak.
Yeah, for sure, right? Why not? If you got that opportunity to kind of showcase your game a little bit more, why not do it there? Because there's a lot of eyes yesterday watching this thing. That was definitely pretty cool. And then to follow, that was 2 Point Campus.
Right?
Like a quirky little game there.
A little silly.
Yeah. Kind of lighten the mood. You go from Escape from Tarkov to 2 Point Campus. Yeah. It was interesting to see that one come around. It was funny. Moving away from that, though, Scott, let's... dude, I don't even know if I want to talk about it anymore at this point, but we're going to do it anyways because they touched on Splinter Cell Netflix shows coming down the pipeline, which, I'm pumped. I'm excited, but we still fall back on, where's the game? Dude, where is our game?
Yes, now I see we have an image of Sam, so we know it's inclusive of Sam Fisher. It would be hard to make a Splinter Cell without him, really.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm hoping this either sheds light on the huge amount of backstory that they hint in all of the games. They talk about Sam's backstory. So there's a lot of content that could be there, but I'm also hoping this inspires a population wave, like a popular wave of viewers, people that are interested in Splinter Cell all over again. And I hope it sends the right signals to the right people that there's hunger for another Splinter Cell game.
Oh my goodness, is there ever hunger? Like, I've been starving for a whole generation, man. Like, we never saw anything come over. But so I was talking about this on Twitter yesterday, and Steve from the squad and I got into a bit of a conversation saying he thinks with all the efforts that they're putting into Splinter Cell around everything, all these properties and stuff, how can they not be working on a game, right? And absolutely, I agree with them, but at the same time, that's all they're doing, though, is putting Sam over here, putting Sam over there, putting him over here. Now they're bringing a TV show, and yet there's still no game announcement. Will we see it tomorrow, Scott, at the Ubisoft Forward, when we'll be covering it live at 3 p.m. Eastern? Do you think we'll see it then?
I'm hoping for something, even if it's just a hint.
Right?
Just the sound of the goggles turning on or something, that would be enough for me. But
right?
Or here's a far out there prediction.
Okay.
I don't truly believe that this is going to happen, but how intense would it be? There's a Nintendo Direct coming. It's long rumored that they're going to announce the next 2, I believe, characters joining Smash Brothers.
Oh my God!
Sam Fisher could fit in there. He would be an interesting alternative to Solid Snake, who's already in the game. So I mean, it's out there, but
dude, you know what? It's probably not that far out there, Scott. To be honest, he's everywhere else. Why not put him in Smash too? Not that anybody wants the game. We might as well just put him everywhere instead. So we'll see what happens.
And whether it appears on Netflix or it appears on Smash Bros, is it going to have Michael Ironside as the voice? I think that's important.
So I don't know if it's an animated thing they're doing or an actual real life scenario, right? Like a real life actors and stuff. If they do real life, not a chance. That'll never
Possibly
happen.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, who knows? He was there yesterday on Summer Game Fest talking about his new movie, The Guy, or whatever that one is. But
Free Guy, yeah.
The Free Guy, yeah, which looks pretty funny actually. So, man, I'm so desperate at this point for a Splinter Cell game, right? Like, it's been PS3. We talk about it all the time, Scott. It's been PS3 and Xbox 360 days. That was Blacklist. That was the last time we saw a Splinter Cell game. From there, we've seen him in Wildlands. We've seen him in Breakpoint. We've seen him come to Rainbow Six. Like, he's always been bounced around. But when Sam actually come back, hopefully we find out tomorrow on the Ubisoft Forward, dude.
Yeah, and even if they do, what Metal Gear kind of did, where they can't secure Michael Ironside, but it becomes Kurt Russell in the role, I would still eat that up.
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely curious to see what the Netflix version looks like. I can't wait. Actually, I've been ever since watching The Witcher over on Netflix. I've been absolutely hooked to our genre coming over into television and things like that. The Last of Us is in development and stuff like that, so definitely excited. Koch Media, Scott, came out with a new publishing brand, which seems kind of odd, but is Prime Matter. So they're going to be bringing back Painkiller, is a franchise that I haven't seen in a very long time that they're talking about, as well as, nice to see, Payday 3 is finally coming back as well.
Yeah, how long has Payday 2 been out now? Because it has to be
forever.
Years and years. Yeah, it's still popular, I hear. I haven't played it myself, but what is Painkiller? Could you give just a little explanation of what those games were?
Dude, it's been so long. I don't think it was ever anything I was into by any chance. But let me take a look here. We're gonna Google this right now. We'll see if we can get a quick synopsis of what is going on in the world of Painkiller. This came out. Is there a date at all? First-person shooter game developed by Polish game studios People Can Fly and published by Dreamcatcher Interactive in 2014. The game's single-player campaign follows a dead man in purgatory who is offered a deal to defeat the invading forces of Lucifer's army in exchange for being allowed to enter heaven.
Oh,
so
that's interesting.
Sounds cool, but yeah, that was in Northern American release was April 12th, 2004. So,
okay.
It's been definitely a while, right? So, but then they also talked about, there's Outward out there, and Kingdom Come Deliverance is also coming to the Nintendo Switch. Dude, I don't know how well that's going to run.
That's an interesting idea to bring that across, but Kingdom Come Deliverance, I think, was overlooked by the majority of people it was targeted to, so more eyes on that could bring a sequel, could bring some popularity to it, and I think it's deserved.
Absolutely, dude, that game is cool. It's super cool. It's first-person shooter. It reminded me of more of a real-life Witcher, in a sense. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, a little bit more grounded in a historical setting, and a very unforgiving combat-wise. Kind of had that gritty, I don't want to say realism, but how many sword slashes can you take? I mean, that. Well,
exactly. No, definitely
not
looks cool.
A lot in this game.
No, absolutely not. But I was pretty pumped for it. Very cool game. It actually came to Game Pass as well. I don't know if it's still there though. I don't think it is. I could be wrong.
I believe I missed it.
That's too bad.
I was curious at one point, but I didn't actually get to it in time.
And then Scott, they got into. Where is it? I got a bunch of notes here. I just want to double check on my notes. Make sure, because I think we skipped over a couple things. We have Rocket League. Oh, there it is. And then Shark Mob came out with, you ready for this one, Scott? Vampire Blood Hunt World. So, this one kind of caught our eyes a little bit, eh?
Yeah, because this is a break away from what the mainline games are, at least from somebody on the outside. I haven't played them, so I can't speak at length, but this looks to be a lot more action-centric, and I believe you stated this is somewhat of a PvP element, sort of. I don't know if Battle Royale exactly fits the description, but
that's what I read this morning. So let me see if I can find it, Scott. Like, it was really weird. I was like, really? That's where this is going? Because when you watch the trailer, Scott, I didn't get that impression at all that it was a Battle Royale.
Neither of us really did. I wasn't sure if it was just like a kind of PvE setting, but it seems to be in the audio to it. They're describing the world and how these vampires have coexisted and kind of taken advantage. They used our society as a fridge, and now that there's a real conflict. They're being hunted and they're responding with force.
Yeah,
there's kind of a two sides thing happening here. So we weren't really sure what kind of a game this was going to be.
It says here, Scott, Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt is a vampire battle royale universe in 2021 that's coming. Dude, like
I've made this joke tons of times. But,
what are you gonna do?
When's this title going for a battle royale? But I'm interested to see how this one's different than the others. The vampire setting is an easy way to explain certain powers that you could have, and it's not going to be a Fortnite.
No, not at all. From there, Scott, we're dude, as always, running out of time here quickly, but I want to touch on a couple more games that really caught our eye. Planet of Lana, I think it looks super dope. Dude, this game looks cool. Super unique art style. And then, that instantly, man, the minute I saw that trailer, like, I'm in. That was it. I was in.
Yes, that's the one that's a hand-painted game,
yes,
I believe.
That's right.
Which my mind just boggles at how much work that would take and the artistry behind that, but it from what I could tell looks to be a solid game.
No, for sure, absolutely super cool looking.
Time will tell.
Yeah, they also had Endless Dungeon, which I thought looked pretty unique. It looked like a twin stick shooter, so I'm looking forward to that one. Back 4 Blood, Scott announced the beta that's coming out. Where was that one? Back 4 Blood, October 12th is when the game is actually going to be released. Did not expect to see that within there. And then the beta is coming August 5th. So that was super cool. Tribes of Midgard is going to be coming to the PlayStation, I believe. That one looks awesome as well. And because
Steam as well, I believe. So
correct.
I'll have a chance. I don't know if I'm going to be able to track down a PlayStation 5 in time, but
and then to wrap things up, Scott, they ended it with Elden Ring, dude.
Yes, finally some gameplay, some cinematic, more than the teaser that we had seen previously.
Yeah, no, it was super, super cool. Overall thoughts of the event, Scott?
A lot more action than I expected. A lot of heavy hitters here. Elden Ring kind of punctuating the whole presentation. I thought that was really well done. And Geoff Keighley, the smooth as butter, puts on a great show. I was impressed.
Yeah. I loved it as well, and I always love talking about video games, so make sure you join us tomorrow when we're covering Ubisoft Forward. Everybody, this has been ITG Daily. Thank you for hanging out with us. Always a blast. And don't forget, if you can't watch us live over on twitch.tv/theofficialITG, you can catch it later over on YouTube, InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services, TV streaming networks around the globe. I'm Drew, that's Scott, and this is ITG Daily. We'll see you inside the game.